Oh, reactions. Whoa. Okay. This is stupid. I love it. So...
That might be one of the best whoas I've ever heard in my entire life. Whoa!
Hello, my spooky darlings, and welcome to Creepy Cocktails, live in my office edition. I am here with Benner.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm back.
We are here to talk about all the things we're doing.
Yeah.
And the 90s. Primarily.
So, the last time I was on, I was a guest.
Yes.
But now we're basically colleagues because
yeah.
we are on YouTube and we're doing
Fawn
a bunch
Distro.
of stuff on Black Fawn Distro's Takeover Tuesday as well as 90s Night. This is my co-host now on a bunch of stuff, so now I guess I'm the co-host of this show whenever I show up.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm pumped to be here.
Yeah, we've got a number of drinks.
Yes, which I don't know anything about, so we should give everyone a kind of a rundown of what we're doing. So this is Creepy Cocktails, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know any of the drinks that are being prepared tonight.
Correct.
I just know that there's a bunch of drinks, and what are the rules of the show?
So there's two rules of the show. The first rule is I don't measure, generally, force a habit. And second rule is you have to finish the entire drink.
And while we're having the drinks, we're going to go through a pre-selected number of questions,
conversation
topics that we want to talk
points.
About, and we saw it would be fun. We felt it would be fun to include everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing it tonight. Of course, we've got a lovely live studio audience like we did last time. Make some noise.
Yay!
Yeah. Who will be, maybe participating in some of the drinking activities tonight. Definitely being critical of our answers and our level of sobriety.
Yep.
And of course, as usual, just like last time, I have the sunglasses. Which go on if things are getting a little too out of control, just for my own.
Just prepare,
peace
just
of mind.
for peace of safety. So, again, 90s Night, I always make a creepy cocktail to go along with the films.
That's right.
I have had them. Benner has not. And so I thought, why not share the deliciousness and the pain probably tomorrow morning by mixing together some of my favorites that I haven't already covered in my first 90s Night Creepy Cocktails video for this particular event. So we are going to start with, in honor of Starship Troopers.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to do the Buenos Aires Bug Bite, which is a personal favorite of mine. They're all personal favorites. To start, I'm going to grab some melon liqueur. It's melon liqueur. I don't know what else to tell you. So I'm going to pour some of that in there. See, I'm trying to use the shaker this time. And I don't know if I want to, because it's better
That's what
later.
we call in the biz production value.
Yeah.
When there's a shaker involved.
So we're also adding in some rum. I'm just doing some white Bacardi rum here. I've got some ice to go in the shaker. It's all going to freeze together. Fine. And then I've got a little bit of Crystal Light Aloha Pineapple Coconut Water flavoring. Because, Buenos Aires and coconut, pineapple, I don't know. I don't really have a theme for that.
Just to let you guys know in our studio audience, that's your cue to go, ooh, ah.
Yeah, and then the last ingredient is water because that's just what it is, I guess.
Stay hydrated. This little doodad here, too. For some more extra production value, of course.
Production value. And then let's do a little pour here.
And this is what, sorry?
This is the Buenos Aires Bug Bite.
And we did this for Starship Troopers.
Yes, we did.
Which you can find on our YouTube channel, which we put all of our episodes of 90s Night on.
Just a little bit. You guys want to try some of this one?
Yeah, you guys want to try some?
Yeah, just a little
Hey.
bit? All right. Again, I'm not measuring. My apologies in advance. I cannot guarantee that the taste is going to be the same.
So basically, like on a monthly basis, myself and Kells get together. We do a 90s Night episode where we take a look back at a film that we both love, or potentially, perhaps one of us hasn't seen, and we review that on our YouTube channel, and we talk about basically what goes into the production of the films, and the marketing stuff, stories, and the legacy of the film, and how we came to kind of get exposed to that film and why we love it so much. So we've got a whole range of, we're up to about 12 episodes now, and we're going to keep them coming. So these are a selection of drinks, obviously, like Kells was saying, from those episodes.
Yeah, they're, again, these are kind of my favorite ones. Now, I know we're going to have a conversation topic as well. So something we wanted to talk about, because I know you guys don't want to have too much, and I'm being respectful of that.
What if I didn't want too much?
Well, I don't think you really get a say, Benner. You're my guest.
Buy a ticket, take the ride, bro.
You drink what I give you. And the Buenos Aires Bug Bite, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Isn't that nice?
Ooh, that is nice.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part.
Ah.
I'm doing my part.
Doing our part. So, speaking of films from the 90s and doing our part, let's have a little chat while we drink this about what we loved about the 90s, what we missed about the 90s, and what we like that's kind of coming back, I think.
I mean, I miss music from the 90s, and I think the most. Personally, I love listening to music from that decade. It's the decade I grew up in, basically, on music. So when I was a teenager in the 90s, I didn't really know how well I had it. It was a classic album coming out sort of every weekend, or every Tuesday, or whenever albums came out at that time. So I honestly miss the music from the 90s. And I love kind of seeing kids today, teenagers today, rocking like Nirvana shirts and stuff like that. Every album that I listened to when I was a teenager now turns 30 years old this year. So it is kind of, it's a bit sad. But
It's a little humbling.
It's I wouldn't say it's sad because the music's still great. It's sad because like I'm an old man now, and like my beard has even gotten like a little bit more gray since the last time I did this show.
Not because of the liquor, though.
Not because of the liquor.
It's just time has done this to you.
So listen, but also like the movies. What's really cool is that we've been doing so many of the reviews on 90s Night and kind of revisiting a lot of 90s movies. It's really cool to see how they were made and how movies have changed from that time period to this time period. I think it's really interesting to see how many things sort of like carried over from the 80s a little bit, but were sort of like the 80s changed in the 90s, which I don't think we really realized when we were watching those movies for the first time when we were younger. And now we going back and revisiting them. I think it's really interesting to see how they sort of they greatly differ from stuff that comes out today. But other stuff from the 90s, anything that you miss particularly?
Well, things that I both miss and things that I absolutely do not miss. What's that weird little thing that's happening? Anyways, things that I both miss and things that I do not miss. Ghosts is the spookies. The fashion, probably. Because, boy howdy, did we make some fashion choices in the 90s. A lot of flannel, which is a good thing.
Awesome.
Awesome. A lot of like bell-bottom jeans, which is a weird thing. I know that was big in the 70s and like came back as fashion is cyclical, and like every 30 years it recycles back. Which is why we're seeing it again now. We're seeing like a lot of Y2K fashion, and it's very strange to me.
You'll be old and gray like I am one day, and you'll look back on all your stupid Instagram photos, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I wore that.
What was I wearing?
I can't believe I wore that." So we had this conversation earlier.
Yeah.
So Kells is a notoriously quick drinker. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I am, and I talk a lot, so it's like this is the problem. This is the problem.
It's the balance. It's that we've struck.
And this happened last time.
Yeah, where I drank very, very quickly, and I just waited for you to finish your beverage. So I'll talk more about the toys of the 90s.
What is it called?
13 Dead End Drive. 13? It's basically a combination of Clue and Mousetrap, is what it is. So it's perfect for young me that loved like setting up the little traps and like knocking shit down. But also, it was just very spooky and somewhat gothic, but a murder mystery at the same time, and that's what I'm all about. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep staring at your drink.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, the technology of the 90s I do miss as well, because it was a simpler time where we didn't have to. Oh, look at you go! We didn't have to worry about algorithms or anything super fishy like that. It was the algorithm. It was just a happier time, an easier time. On to the next one.
On to the next one.
Keep it moving. The next one is in honor of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, awesome.
The mean servant of God. Servant of God, which is a tequila
which stands for something, but we're not censoring it. That's what Harvey Keitel says in the movie because he's a priest, and he won't say MFer, so he says
And I'm gonna be.
Whoa! I thought you were doing the measuring for the tequila. Oh, you said no measuring.
No, I said no measuring. I can't go against my own rules. I'm just being very
Cuervo.
careful.
Me and Jose go way back.
Yeah.
Good buds.
So this one is again tequila. I've got a little bit of iced tea as well. So tequila and iced tea. And
tequila because From Dusk Till Dawn takes place. Half the movie takes place in Mexico.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and iced tea?
Because of reasons. It makes me think of this label broke. Oh my gosh.
Cat-like reflexes.
I think iced tea because it just made me, I feel like Harvey Keitel's character would just...
Oh, he'd have an iced tea. Would you like a
drink
beer
to
and
me.
he would have an iced tea because he's sober?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And this is sour mix that I made myself at home because I don't know where to buy it, so I just made it.
Only the best.
Only
on
the best.
Creepy Cocktails. Only the best.
Homemade. Give it a little swirl, and then there's also finishing touch, too. Okay. So I'm going to, swirl both of these.
Ketchup.
So the finishing touch is a swirl of grenadine for the blood, because vampires.
Oh, right. Vampires in that
So,
movie.
yeah. So I'm just going to do a little swirl of grenadine in yours.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
Grenadine in mine. And a little swirl of grenadine in this one. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold on.
Hey.
Okay, I was just going to give it a sniff.
Okay, give it a sniff.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
To the mean servant of God. Thank you, studio audience. What are your thoughts?
That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect with this one.
I feel like the sour mix softens the tequila a little bit.
You've been making some good shit over here, eh?
Thank you.
Every time we do a 90s night.
Every time I do 90s night. And you know what? I make it up about 5 minutes before we go on the air.
That's true. Now, for anyone watching, if you want to try some of these drinks, you can go back to our Instagram. We usually post the any of the photos that feature Kells. We actually post the recipe down below. Now, Kells doesn't measure, so she doesn't reveal what she does. You're gonna have to watch the episode, this episode, to figure out how they make it. Now, you might already be watching this episode, but if you want the ingredients, they're on our Instagram. And you could just I guess you could have just.
Or you could just mix along to what
or
we're
you could
doing
just
right
rewind
now.
this video and listen
Write
to
it down.
what she put in. All right, how are we doing over there, studio audience? Yeah, woo! Okay, so thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
So our conversation topic for this one is review criteria. So what movies would we or would we not review, and what would make us review or not review a film, I guess, is the question.
So
this is kind of like a loaded conversation.
Yeah, so for 90s Night, we always review the films that kind of that we like, right? Like films that we love and whatever, and we like to go and do that deep dive into maybe things we didn't know or things that we wanted to share with you, the audience.
Research.
But for other films, such as our review shows, Banner's movie reviews, Kells' Streams and Screams, we're not too sure what we should review. Oh, see, I don't understand why I get this.
I was turning the rock on, it wasn't working, but
special the production value for this episode is through the roof.
Top notch.
Through the roof. All right. So anyway, so we have a conundrum because we were like, what reviews do we review? What movies do we review? Because what if we don't like something? Now, Chris Stuckman, who does reviews and is for all intents and purposes, what I can tell, a decent dude and whatever, and he just loves movies just like the rest of us. But he did a review where he didn't do a review of Madam Web. The review was, I don't want to do a review on this movie because I don't want to do a bad review. Which, because you're not doing the...
Because you're drawing attention to it.
You're not doing the review, meaning that it is a bad movie, so you're suggesting that people shouldn't see... Anyway, when you find out how much time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears it goes into creating a movie, you don't want to kind of shit on it after the fact. And so we kind of have the same sort of thought process. And if you have some suggestions, we're open to them because we're kind of wrestling with this a bit. Now, on a previous podcast, previous episode of Takeover Tuesday, we had said that we weren't going to do reviews of movies that we didn't like. It was just like, hey, listen, if we didn't like it, you're not going to see the review. But
if you don't have something nice to say,
don't say it at all.
etc., etc.
And you said off camera, you said, okay, but what if we didn't review something, not because we didn't like it, but because we didn't actually see it, we didn't have time to review it, we can't review every movie. Other thing that we had talked about was what if we only review films that maybe hit a certain threshold and budget, and we can be very critical of those movies because lower budget indie movies, we know how hard how hard it is to make something.
It's a lot of work. A lot of people put blood, sweat, and tears into that, and we don't want to shit on that.
We don't want to shit on that.
No.
But when a movie costs $200 million and it's just the worst movie ever, should we do a review on that? I can get a bit ranty. I like ranting about stuff I don't like and ranting about stuff I do like. I don't know. We're not sure. So did you have any further thoughts to this?
Yes. I mean, I think when it comes to, again, larger budget films that maybe we didn't particularly agree with, and this is not I'm just throwing this name out there because it's the first one that came to mind. I don't have anything to say about Oppenheimer because I haven't seen it. But Christopher Nolan's not going to
You haven't seen Oppenheimer?
What? You haven't seen Oppenheimer?
What? You haven't seen that movie?
But Christopher Nolan's not going to give a shit if we didn't like his movie. It's not going to blip on his radar.
Can you imagine if he did, though? Imagine if he was he's
crying,
why
not?
Oh my God.
But again, for someone that really, really cares and really, indie horror filmmakers generally search out their reviews. They search out what people are saying about their films because they want to know, and they're really, passionate about it, and they care a lot because they put so much work into it. So I would feel kind of a butthole if I was just about anything, just like ranting long form about it if I didn't like it.
I mean, I think part of it is like when you find something, like in our business, right? Like when you find something that's sort of under the radar, off the beaten path, so to speak, you want to draw attention to it because it's cool. And it's like you found it, like, and I give you an example of this is like years and years and years ago, I watched Session 9.
Oh,
just rented the movie. I was like,
good.
well, this looks kind of cool, and I watched it, and it blew me away. It's still one of my favorite horror movies ever made. So I always try to tell people, it's like you gotta watch a Session 9 as much as I need to finish this drink right now.
I'm being subtle, and I mean. For me, I think that's one of the things I like to do with Streams and Screams is if there's a film that's like popped up on Shudder, Destroy All Neighbors, for example. I loved that. Films that are maybe not as high up on the radar for folks that I really enjoy that I wanted to draw attention to that you can find at home. And, you know, support it that way by, you know, of course, supporting with your dollars is very, very important. And we do support physical media, absolutely.
And for me, as a film fan, especially with the amount of booze that you're drinking right now, and also the amount of what would you say, like the rebookals and like the resurrecting of old IPs. I just sometimes I feel like when a bad idea gets like pushed so far that it gets made and then like it comes out and it's garbage, I feel like it does need to be called out for what it is. What's the other thing? Memory Berry. Yeah, you've heard of that. No?
Oh, the member from South Park. Is that what you're referring to?
I don't know.
Oh.
I heard it on a podcast once.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was on Netflix, right, which I didn't like. Matrix 4. Sorry. And what's a movie that you did not like that you thought it came out and you were like, eh?
I don't know, man. I feel like and maybe this is just me being like an old softie, but I feel like any movie that I see, I can find something to like about it. I can find something to enjoy, whether it's like the acting or the cinematography or the costume design or the set design, story, direction. I generally am always kind of finding something that I'm like, well, this maybe wasn't for me, but I liked this element of it. And also, I'm really bad at coming up with things from my memory when I'm under pressure. So I can't think of a single movie that I saw that I was like, not for me, in theaters or something bigger budget. Oh, you know what? I do have one. Okay. The Poltergeist remake.
Okay. I haven't seen that. No good?
It's not good. I love Poltergeist. It's one of my personal favorites. Sam Rockwell's in this one as the dad.
Oh, I love Sam Rockwell.
He's the Craig T. Nelson character, which is...
I also love Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, but point being, that is one that I've also written about. I did like a remake double take article for iHorror that like compared the original with the remake, and I was like very direct about my feelings. So that's my example of one, but I would
agree with you in saying that, like, I think any movie you watch, I think there's obviously positives and negatives to take away. I think there's just varying degrees of each. Varying degrees of positive and negative. And I think that, you know, for the most part, any good reviewer or any reviewer that is wants to treat the films as the art form that they are.
Right.
Should do that and say, hey, this was the good stuff. This was the acting performances that worked. These are the ones that didn't. I also think, and we've talked about this too, I think it comes down to stuff like the script and runtime. I think, especially nowadays, is
2 hours.
2 hours. I want 150 to like 210 in that range.
Maybe 220. I could do 220.
And the reason we say this is because Terminator 2, I think, is like 2 hours and 16 minutes. Now, if you can't cover that pacing, if you can't get that story into your movie, I do feel like once it reaches a certain threshold for a budget, that's when it's sort of like the gloves kind of can come off and it can get called out for what it is. And I think that's...
Because again, they're not going to be butthurt about it.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Were you way off base? Am I off base? What do you guys want to see us review? And we'll see what we can do, right? Maybe you should start with Oppenheimer just because, I don't know, it won Best Picture of the Year. But what do I know? I'm just some guy sitting around finishing these drinks on time.
Slowly. There you go. Champion of the world. Yay. All right, next one. So this next one that I'm going to make is for Blade.
Okay, awesome.
This is the blood serum, which I really like this one, actually. All right, so... Disaster
in studio tonight. You know, it's funny. We just watched... Now, listen, we'll take a second, too. But we just watched Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
On Shudder. Great flick.
I loved it.
I just jogged my memory because live studio audience.
Yes.
Check it out if you got Shudder. It's a worthwhile feature.
This one uses some black vodka, which is very cool. I'm trying to, like, get through the light of this. There you go. So you can see it's like it's.
Is it actually black?
It's actually black. Pour some of this.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's only. It's just the only liquor in here, so I have to be a little bit more heavy-handed with it. So the next thing that we would use would be grapefruit juice. So I'm going to throw some of that in there. And I can't remember why I did grapefruit juice other than I thought it'd be a good flavor, which it is. And then the last ingredient is some blood orange soda, which is really delicious. And I'm going to be very liberal with the blood orange soda in here because I put a lot of vodka in mine by accident. Give it a little swirl.
A little swirly
to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
It's got this nice sort of creepy dark color to it that like
Alrighty.
when you have it lit properly from this angle you can sort of see like the red and it has like a denseness to it that kind of looks like blood to me.
Okay.
So yeah, ready?
So here's to Wesley Snipes.
Here's to Wesley Snipes.
The original Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good too.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Black vodka has a...
It has like a little bit of a flavor to it, because I know everyone at home is wondering.
Where would you get such a liqueur?
I got Hound's Black Vodka. It's a product of Canada. This one I had to buy in a city near me because they didn't have it in my city. I drove to get this because I care about you so much.
Aw, that's nice.
Yes. So speaking of Wesley Snipes, conversation topic for this drink is who would be like a dream Takeover Tuesday
Oh
guest?
man, nice segue.
Thank you.
Segue.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers. That's worth it for sure.
Or either or. Thank you. Or who would be...
hey, let's hear it for Kells, our host tonight, guys. Studio audience. Yeah, right.
So who would you love to have on the show for Takeover Tuesday, one of our other shows on the Black Pod Distro Network? Or who would you just like not want to have on the show, either because you'd be like too nervous about it, or because you're like, I don't want to talk to that guy. This is a
There's the three. Who's my dream person?
Who's your dream person, and who would you not want to interview? And it can be for like any reason.
Any reason? Okay, all right. My dream interview on the show. I know it's going to sound like it might be a stock answer, but I'll give you the reasoning why. My dream interview would probably be to interview Tarantino, and I'll tell you why. It's because I love all his films. They had such an impact on me, but other things as well. He used to work in a video store. I used to work in a video store. He bought out the old video store they used to work on. Like he's renovated a theater and opened it back up.
He's like a record collector.
He's a record collector. He loves music. Like he starts, famously there's an interview where he says like when he starts off a script, the first thing he does is go digging through his record collection to figure out what the movie or the idea that he has, like what's the music that kind of speaks to those things.
For sure.
Equally, I would be terrified to interview him because he's an encyclopedia of movies. He thinks Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a perfect film.
It is.
I think it's a perfect film as well.
The parallels.
The Thing is one of his favorite movies too. So it'd just be great to interview him like that. But to give you another answer, well, let's go through that. That's the person I think I would my dream interview.
And also on the
film.
B side of that, be one you'd be scared to talk to.
Right, but I think I've got other answers for that too.
Okay,
but I would be prepared. I would never even if I was nervous about it, I would still do it.
Okay.
Because
be like,
because
the
it's once in a
opportunity.
lifetime. And a close second, I think, would probably be Spielberg.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because E.T. was the first movie I saw in the theater, Indiana Jones, and even the peripheral movies where he wasn't a director, but he was involved in the movie making process with like Gremlins and Back to the Future and like Poltergeist, even the original.
Yeah.
I just think it would be great. I would just like to tell him those stories about my folks and how they got me into movies and stuff. And I think I wouldn't be nervous to interview Spielberg because I think he's just a regular guy. He's just a guy, right?
He's just a dude who loves film.
So I think if I had my opportunity to interview anybody, those two guys would be at the top of the list, I think.
That's excellent. That's good choices.
But how about yourself?
The two I would love to talk to, also would be terrified to talk to. I'd love to talk to Ari Aster. I feel like he would be a really, really interesting one. I've seen him in interviews before, and he seems like a very charming but also very neurotic person, and as a neurotic person I kind of get that, but also I find that he has like just really, again, encyclopedic knowledge of film. He knows so much. He seems like he has such a crazy mind, and I love his films, and I just would have so many questions about like where all the pieces are clicking into place for these movies, because like it's chaotic and I enjoy it so much. I've heard that actually he has a very, very positive relationship with his parents, which from watching his films, you would be surprised.
You would never
to hear
know.
That. You'd never
you would
know.
never know this.
But they're very supportive of what he does. They're very supportive of his films. They're artists themselves. I think his dad is a jazz musician. His mom's a painter. Might have that reversed. But yeah, I think he would be fascinating to talk to because he seems like such a wise, intelligent, and fascinating person. I'd also love to talk to Jordan Peele because I feel like that'd just be jokes. I feel like that'd be really interesting. Again, he also just has such a crazy mind. The fact that Get Out took, I think, like 8 or 10 years to create and produce and make and film is a testament to how insanely good it is. Like, I was kind of thinking about Get Out the other day, and watching that in theaters for the first time is kind of like being in the audience for, like, Rosemary's Baby or, like, you know, The Exorcist or, like, one of those big films that, like, really changed horror cinema, I think. Like, it's just monumental in a way that, like, it hits the audience at the same time. Yeah. Everybody has such a wonderful communal reaction to it. And it's just so unexpected. I think that would be a really interesting conversation.
What's interesting is you picked a director that's sort of like two directors that are sort of at the start of their careers.
Yes, which is also
whereas I picked two directors that are like kind of almost in the twilight of their careers. So that's interesting. We talked about directors.
Yeah.
Let's before we go, are there any actors and actresses that would present the same challenge? Actors or actresses that you would love to interview, and perhaps somebody that you you wouldn't want to because it would just be
like
too
much. So on the one hand, just speaking about Late Night with the Devil, I think David Dismelchian would be a fascinating person to interview. I've heard like him on podcasts before, and I think he has a show. I can't remember where it's called, but it's just like him and a celebrity guest like side by side in coffins, just like so they're not looking at each other at all. They're just like lying in a coffin, just like looking up. And he'll just, like, ask them, like, these really kind of philosophical, insightful questions. And they're just, like, lying in a coffin, like, thinking about life and death and answers. It's really, really lovely, actually. I wish I could remember what it's called. But I can't. I feel like he would be really kind of cool to talk to. And also, he just seems a little spooky. And I feel like that would be fun for conversation.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. One that would be, like, really kind of fun, but also the most chaotic thing. And also the most stressful thing that I probably would not want to do, but, like, kind of would love to. Tom Cruise would be ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do it, but also that'd be really interesting.
But are you just saying that you don't want to interview him because you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick?
No. But I would also feel ashamed that I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick.
The thing I appreciate about Tom Cruise as well is that the fact that, especially now, because he had the controversies in the past, and however you feel about it now, let's say, put that to the side for a second. His interviews now and his focus now, especially in the media when he goes on press runs, is like, I like making movies.
Yeah, he just fucking loves film.
I like making great action movies that deliver entertainment.
Which he does.
And I think he is going to be the guy that gets the Oscar for stunt work. I think he's going to be the guy that gets that kind of done. Speaking
of, like, I think that would be, like, the one conversation I would really like to have with Tom Cruise would be about the stunt work. And it'd be about, like, the training involved and, like, the skill. And, like, does he retain any of that skill once he's done? Like, I think that would be an interesting conversation to have because he has such respect, again, for the filmmaking industry, for stuntmen. Like, he learns how to do everything, which I feel like is the right way to do it. Someone gives you a movie and says, like, hey, you got to learn how to do this crazy stunt. And be like, okay, I'll just fucking learn how to do it. That's what I would want to do. I would want to do it just for the ability to do my own stunts.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Thank you. The next one we're going to do...
Four.
I do have a fifth. If we dare.
All right, let's go.
So this next one is for Candyman.
Okay. Right on.
This is the Be My Victim, which I'm very fond of this one as well.
This is actually the latest 90s Night episode that we just filmed. We did it as part of the Halloween in May programming that our good friend Casey Ferguson from the Casey Ferguson Show.
Yeah.
Love Casey, huge metalhead, big music fan, big horror fan. Asked us to do a couple of exclusive 90s nights for him before we put them up on YouTube. The first one we did was Candyman, the original from
1990 something.
1993, I think.
2? 3?
2? 91? Maybe 91. I think it's 91.
7?
Gotta look that up. Put that in my head. I'll you know what? I'll remember that when I remember
what
the
Daniel
third
Day-Lewis
movie. One for Daniel Day-Lewis.
So this one, the Be My Victim.
The third Oscar that Daniel Day-Lewis won. That's what I meant to say.
So this next one, the Be My Victim.
Sunglasses on.
You were just saying, you're like, oh, it hasn't been that intense yet. Famous last
all right.
words, bud.
I'm
Famous
putting on
last
the glasses.
words.
The glasses
All right,
gotta go on.
so this one starts with a really
No
nice...
measuring. No
measuring.
measuring. Just pours whatever
Just
she
free
wants,
pour.
whatever she feels like.
However confident I feel.
All right.
So this one starts with a honey liqueur. It's Irish Mist. It's a honey whiskey. It's actually extraordinarily nice. When I went to the liquor store to find it, I was like kind of torn because the one I was looking for, they didn't have it. And I talked to the gentleman behind the counter, and he was so lovely and so helpful. And he said that this is his favorite liquor.
All
Said
right.
nothing but good things about it. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Get it? Give it a shot. That's some booze humor right there. The next thing I'm going to put in here is Saint Germain's elderflower liqueur. Because you got honey and you got elderflower. It's a whole bee-themed thing. Don't worry, I have a second bottle.
Oh, I was gonna say, where's the one?
Oh, I came prepared, buddy.
All right.
Don't you worry. I'm just gonna, again, you just were complaining that it was too light, so I'm just gonna do a little bit more.
Well, not. Okay, well, not. Too, I didn't know the next drink was gonna be a whiskey drink. I may not have
Well,
said
this
that.
is the elderflower liqueur I'm talking
This
about.
shit'll make you run through a wall.
Yeah, and then the last ingredient is Sunny Delight because
Of course, because why not?
Because why not? You know, you got your honey, you got your elderflower, and you got the sunshine. So
What's this one called again?
this is called the Be My Victim.
Oh,
Get
what?
it? Bee because like sun and flowers and honey and shit. I don't know. They're also generally speaking would be a lollipop garnish, but
Oh yeah.
we
Is
don't.
that no?
I mean, I could get them if we want to like really spend the time. Here you go, studio audience. All right, cheers, man.
All right, cheers.
Okay.
Oh wow,
Smooth sailing.
that's crazy. That's
Right?
actually that's a crazy drink.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
Really good.
Thank you, studio audience.
Mm.
I'm very fond of it.
Wow, that's actually like I'm not just saying that. And I'm not just saying that all the other drinks are shit either, right? Like I'm not just saying, oh god,
They're swill.
thank God this one tastes great.
Finally.
This tastes great because I've had 3 pints of gasoline since then. But but no, this is actually really really tasty because
Yeah.
you don't actually get the hint. Like there's something in there, but you actually don't quite know what it is. It's
Yeah.
I definitely not guess whiskey. I would guess gin. Or something else, rum maybe, but
Yeah.
not whiskey. So that's actually really
It's
quite
the
refreshing.
honey whiskey portion of it that's quite lovely and smooth to drink. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good, right?
So it's a honey whiskey?
It's honey whiskey.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's paired with elderflower liqueur and Sunny Delight. And like, who would have thought whiskey
I
and
think-
Sunny
so-
D would
so-
go well together?
Not that the other drinks were bad,
Mhm.
but this is my favorite tonight so
you.
far. So
And also, Sunny D is very 90s.
it is, yeah.
So this question, you know, we've talked about the 90s
Yeah,
a
okay.
little bit, and we've talked about
Yep.
things of times of yore. What have we really liked so far in 2024, film-wise?
Nothing.
It's all trash.
All shit, no.
Is there-
I'm
yeah,
just
is there-
kidding.
is there
just
any-
a joke. It's just a joke.
So I'm going to also phrase it to you this way. Something from 2024 film-wise that you've liked, and something that maybe you've seen in 24 that you hadn't seen before. That you're like, that was a really good one, even if it's not from 2024.
I will say recently we saw Furiosa,
Yes.
which is worth going to see. I think
Please,
I
spend money on it.
go see it in the
Please.
theater. It's good. We did a thing on the last time. We went to see it in 4DX, and it was this jostling kind of roller coaster
was
of
like-
a movie to watch. Wind and all. It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It was our first 4DS experience, too.
I'd love to go see another movie that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen. I'd love to go see Jurassic Park in 4DX or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it's a great film. I know why it's failing at the box office. It's because it's a prequel. It's an R-rated film.
It's very long.
And also, it's a prequel, and I think that the appetite for prequels is basically negative right now because it's hard to get invested into a movie where you're like, well, I know everyone's gonna. I know that the
I know
lead
who's gonna
character is
survive. I know what's
like,
gonna
no
happen.
spoilers. Like you know the lead character is gonna survive because they're
There's a
in the
whole other
sequel.
movie about her.
My rating system has 2 caveats, and that is if you have a monster truck in your movie, you automatically get an extra bonus 0.5. So it gets a 4 out of 5 from me.
Mm-hmm.
Go and see it. It's great. Now, the negative is CGI deer
Mm-hmm.
specifically.
Specifically.
And that does include elk as
Yeah.
well.
Bison?
I'm looking at you, True Detective season 4 or whatever.
What about bison?
Bison are fine. For some reason, they can get bison and horses and zebras to look okay.
Antelopes?
But no, anything that's deer, like whatever, looks weird.
Okay. Did you
Anyway.
know that a mountain goat is technically not a goat? It's a breed of antelope.
Are they making CGI versions of them in movies?
Not yet, but maybe they should.
Other stuff that I've seen recently, I would be remiss not saying Godzilla -1.
Ooh.
It just hit Netflix. It's blowing up everywhere because it was one of my favorite movies of all last year. In my top 5, top 10 list, whatever. Probably
it was for like everybody I talked to.
Near the top. It's just a quality film, and it was made for like, I don't know, they say 15 million, maybe like 10 to 12, 15. Whatever, 10 to 15 million dollars. It's on Netflix right now. It's the #1 movie on Netflix, #1 movie on iTunes, which I think is like the first time that's ever happened. However, a recent movie I just watched in the last 72 hours was I Saw the Devil, which is Kells' favorite movie. And she's been telling me about this movie forever.
I've been telling everybody about this movie forever.
I saw the devil this, I saw the devil that. So finally I watched it, and I gotta say, it lives up to the hype. It's a very excellent movie. Not for the faint of heart. It is super violent, super bloody, but it's a Korean film, and it's just, the setup for it is excellent. It's got some amazing action sequences.
Yes.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's very unpredictable, and I would say the first act is a great setup. The second act does not lull, and the third act delivers. And I think that is something that Hollywood doesn't necessarily know how to do anymore. And what I said the other night, and I still stand by this, the ending of your movie, how you stick the landing matters. It's the last thing they see when they leave the theater, and it's the first thing they talk about. So you got to stick the landing. And I Saw the Devil was, for me, I think...
Ooh, that ending.
I was like...
That ending.
Okay, but don't
I'm just saying that ending.
Because you didn't tell me that. You said, oh, it's just a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. You should go and watch it. I Saw the Devil. I don't know where it's streaming, but maybe we'll put the link. Tubi?
Tubi. It's on
streaming
Tubi.
on Tubi. Go and check it out. It is fantastic. So what have you seen recently? What are you watching?
Furiosa was a great one.
Okay.
I love the monster truck. I love the aerial stuff. I lost my mind for a couple minutes.
But that's because we were like jostling around, and there was like wind and like.
I was just trying to drink my drink, and it was very.
Chris Hemsworth, obviously, super awesome.
So great. But yeah, the stunts in George Miller's films, particularly Happy Feet. No, the stunts in George Miller's films are next level. You're welcome. You can do it.
Oh my god, that almost came out my nose.
So the stunts in George Miller's films, Fury Road is an incredible feat of filmmaking that, I saw an interview, or heard an interview with Anya Taylor-Joy, and she was talking about how, there's... When you meet someone else...
Were you talking about Fury Road or Furiosa?
Both.
Okay.
So I was reading an interview with Anya Taylor-Joy, and she was saying... Hanging out with Anya Taylor-Joy last night. Hanging out, just chilling. Yeah. And she was saying that, when you meet someone else that's worked on a Mad Max film, you have, this camaraderie, you've been to battle. It's soldiers, recognizing another soldier that has been to war. It's a level of filmmaking intensity that, no other film can parallel. There's a reason. I mean, that's pretty awesome. It's crazy.
And I know there was, conflict between, Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron on Fury Road. But,
mostly because it was so insane to do it.
But...
Well, you know who did get along in Mad Max Fury Road? The stunt doubles for Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. The two stunt doubles, they got married.
They got married?
They got married. So that that whole big fight scene when they first meet each other and they're doing the crazy shit where they're rolling around through the sand and stuff. That was that was a moment of chemistry for the two of them, and I believe they got married. And I think that's really lovely.
The antithesis of
yeah. One relationship ruined, but another blossomed. So that's great. I will also say, honestly, Late Night with the Devil was I really liked that one.
Okay.
I really, really enjoyed it. I watched it, I think, twice in a short period of time. It was maybe a couple days apart. Because I, again, was going to do a streams and screams for it. And then I didn't. That's not true. I did record one, and I started editing it, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing it justice, so I scrapped it, is what happened.
But I would say that when I was watching it, it did feel kind of like a play. And I'd be interested to see if anyone sort of adapts that to the stage and
How?
sort of well, no, because I just felt like it was the idea of having the audience there. I kind of feel like if you did it in the right way, I don't know if there's a market for it or anything like that, but I did feel like if you did it as a play, and the audience themselves are sort of a character in the play
audience.
because they're the audience in the
Yeah, like break that fourth wall a little bit.
Yeah. I thought it'd be that'd be kind of cool if you did that and whatever, right?
They'd have to. I mean, I've seen like what they can do in Chinese theaters with like they did like a Dragon Ball Z stage show or something, and like the level of effects they're able to accomplish in a live theater. As someone who's worked in theater, I don't know how they did it. But, like, every Canadian theater needs to step their pussy up. But, like, it's crazy what they're able to do.
Did you just say step your pussy up?
Yes, I've been watching a lot of Drag Race. I think one of the things I really liked about Late Night with the Devil, and I know one of our audience members is going to particularly agree with this, is the character that was very clearly modeled after The Amazing Randy. Yeah, so James Randi, the skeptic character that is featured in Late Night with the Devil, is very clearly, obviously, based on the amazing James Randi, who was a illusionist and escape artist and magician who basically said, like, you know what, I've seen enough charlatans that are trying to pass off what they do as real, and, like, I feel like they're kind of milking people for all their money, and that's not fair. So he made it kind of his life's mission to debunk anyone that tried to legitimately say, I have these powers. And he's so cool. He's Canadian too. He's born and raised in Toronto. So I love that they kind of took this character and breathed a different kind of life into him as the skeptic character in Late Night with the Devil. I really appreciated the effects, the practical effects of that film. I thought were really incredible. David S. Malshin, as I already spoke about earlier, adore him. I think he's so good. I really enjoyed that film. It kind of tickled an itch that I had. I remember hearing about it. It was playing at Toronto After Dark Film Festival, and I missed it. The Late Night with the Devil I greatly enjoyed. Godzilla Minus One I thought was incredible. It was just the fact that they were able to accomplish that on that small of a budget, and I think like Avatar Way of the Water was the most expensive film to ever win a visual effects award, and they did it with a budget of like $400 million or something insane like that. Things that we're excited for this year. As someone who does not watch trailers, I am very excited. I know the trailer is incredible. I won't watch it because I'm so excited for this movie.
Anti-trailer.
The trailer houses, they cut them. They deliver all the stuff in the trailer that I'm going to see in the movie, and I anticipate it. I don't like anticipating scenes. I like just like watching them happen organically. Anyways, so the two movies I'm most excited for this year. Maxine by Ty West, because X and Pearl are just like, oh, so effing good.
Yeah.
And Fede Alvarez's Alien. Is Alien Romulus?
Alien Romulus, okay.
Yeah, which, again, neither trailers I have seen. Neither trailers do I want to see because I'm so excited.
You should watch the Alien
trailer.
trailer.
I refuse.
You should watch the Alien trailer.
I refuse.
Listen, in Fede Alvarez, we trust.
We do.
He's a guy that he knows.
Don't Breathe, Evil Dead 2013, and
executive
also
producer on a bunch of stuff too.
Yes.
Where he's sort of, his fingerprints are on some stuff too. It looks very claustrophobic. It looks very real. Apparently, it's supposed to take place, I think, don't quote me on this, but between the first Alien movie and James Cameron's Aliens. So it's like in that kind of 50-year gap where like Ripley is sort of frozen in space, and it looks
just floating with Jonesy.
It looks absolutely fantastically alien and raw and fucking scary. I also think it has a little bit of influence from the trailer, a little tiny bit of pinch of influence from Alien 3, directed by David Fincher.
It comes out in August?
Yeah, I think it's like August. Yeah, August 17th.
So I want to see that. I don't know if I want to see it in 4DX because I feel like I want to like experience it cerebrally without experiencing it physically for first. The next movie I want to see in 4DX.
yeah. When you go see a movie in 4DX, you don't experience anything cerebrally. It's only physical.
The next movie I want to see in 4DX is probably Twisters because I feel like that'll be.
We talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this the other night.
So
we know it's going to be a bad movie.
Yeah. I don't care. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun as shit.
But the wind, you're just excited because of the wind. I think
yes.
When you went to see Furiosa, you're like, well, the aerial stuff, the wind. So I feel like if we go see Twisters and it's like, but like, how would your seat be going? Like,
I want a cow to come flying at me from the screen.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, we should maybe make a point of that. That'd be pretty fun.
We should make a point of that. You should make a point to finish your drink.
All right.
Next one.
We're doing overtime?
I am prepared.
Fifth?
Okay,
I guess we're doing a fifth.
We're doing a fifth. So this is the last drink that, because you were complaining that I didn't get you drunk enough. So
just doing this show so many times, hanging out with you, the tolerance level is
just spiked.
But I think I mean I don't know. Who knows? I mean I don't know if they've arrived. They're not arrived. They haven't arrived yet, but they're in the mail for sure. So
yeah. So let's
might as well just do another one, right?
just go with it. This last drink is for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
another vampire drink, but whatever. And it's called.
Vamping it up, vamp.
It's called the whatever.
Vamp. What?
Whatever.
Oh, that's the name of the drink.
That's the drink,
oh,
yeah. Okay, so that's the name of the drink. So I'm gonna grab that in a minute. So this drink has a healthy combination of banana liqueur to start.
Oh, I hate bananas.
Well, I'll pour you less then.
No, just make it.
Just make it. You're
I'll
gonna
just do it.
trust me. You're gonna like it. The next ingredient is cherry liqueur.
I like cherries.
Well, there you go. So yeah, banana liqueur, cherry liqueur, vodka, and then the rest.
I've had some vodka recently.
Yes.
Tonight. Yeah.
And then the rest is just orange juice.
Just top up of the glass of.
Because I realized I put a lot of alcohol in this one.
All right.
So we have to balance it out a little bit.
Oh.
So there you go. That is the whatever. So there's a lot of liquor in this one.
So what is this banana liqueur? Oh god.
5 minutes later.
Ricky the story of Ricky. So what did he say?
He says, "Have breakfast," but he sings it and he runs it. He goes, "Have breakfast."
Yeah. So that's what we do with our time.
Please, someone's gonna clip that. Chad Archibald is gonna clip that little fucking video of me going, "Have breakfast," and he's gonna make that a meme. It's gonna be online everywhere. I didn't say fucking shit. I didn't say shit. All right, this is fun.
You got it. And there's like a close-up face on it. He's like, blah, blah, blah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways,
that's all I'm gonna
Star
say
Wars.
about that. This is what happens when Kelly gives me all these fucking drinks.
You're welcome. Okay. So.
Whew.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I still have one mouthful left. I'll finish it. Thank you for your patience as you join us on this debauchery journey through a number of drinks that I've put together and a number of themed topics that we've discussed to varying degrees of relevancy. If you would like to follow us, you can do so at Black Fawn Distro, somewhere along the bottom of the screen. Somewhere, wherever it is, blah, 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 blah. There's from the
we
orb. We ignored this the whole time.
This thing, right?
This thing?
Yeah,
there we
from
go.
the orb.
From the orb. The power. So, thank you for joining us. Mix responsibly, unlike me. And thanks for being on this journey. And we'll, I don't know, we'll see you soon or some shit. Do we have a sign off?
I mean,
not really.
I don't know. I just wanted to say, thanks everyone for checking out our stuff on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Both our shows that we do together and the shows that we do individually.
The shows we do together and the shows we do apart.
Do apart for just so we don't get sick of each other. But we only do this thing because it's
it's
Kelly's thing, it's Kelly's thing, and
blaming this on me?
No. I'm saying no, dude. I'm what do you call that?
You're
accomplice.
I'm a bystander.
Sure. Yeah.
An innocent bystander.
Innocent bystander. I didn't do nothing, Johanna. I didn't do nothing. So, but we did really want to say thank you so much for tuning into our shows and watching us and supporting Black Fawn Distro and of course
liking, subscribing, etc.
Yeah, and doing all that stuff. Thanks so much, and thanks for doing this. Thanks for hosting this.
Thanks for joining
Appreciate
me.
all these drinks and
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yeah, well, we had a lot, so thanks. Bye.
Bye.